Well, good morning to you. Friday again. There we are. So we got the weather's lifting. I'm looking at the window. The weather's lifting a bit now. So say tomorrow, Saturday night, hopefully, if 8:15, I reckon that the red arrows are going to be flying around here. So that'll be nice. Be able to look at the window and have a look and see what's going on. And all the G7. I mean, let's just embrace it. It's something we'll never see in our lifetime again, the G7 and all the dignitaries down here. I know it's inconvenient up to a point, but they say showcasing Cornwall. They don't need showcasing because we're in God's country anyhow. So, but it's lovely to know that it's all here and things are going on. I've seen hundreds of police, so at least we keep our doors open now. We're quite safe here at the minute with all these police around. Anyhow, I want to wish happy birthday to Simon Alwyn, great friend of mine. Have a nice day, pard, and enjoy yourself, and pass on our regards to your mum and dad. Just take care. All right. Now I'm going to do a Herbert Lean one here today. All right, this is Face Days. Cameron Face hadn't like what it used to be years ago, said Feather, shaking his head. I can mind a time when you could have a meal anywhere, and good drop broth 'twas, add the skim off the fat. One woman I dunno wasn't too clean. Used to put her floorcloth on the rack to dry. One day she had a boiler of broth over boiling, and when she went stirring up bit, the old cloth tumbled down in the broth. It all went, because she had 6 hungry children around the table. People what had delations in another parish used to swap over for feast. They come Cameron, and then you go theirs. Cameron man asked Ruth man how they don't keep their feast. 'Cause we'd have a feast every week, was the smart reply. The tram cars from Bruce always crowded face Monday. Pubs didn't close till 11 o'clock, and next day you couldn't get a pint of beer in the town. One year a certain man you know had a brave drop drinking, and policemen seeing on down on his hands and knees up Gas Street. What are he doing there? Inquired the bobby. I left after Crown Fall and can't find him. Where'd he losing? Oh, up the other end of the street, he was told. Well, how don't he go up there and search? Can't see up there. Street lamp has gone out. Always bit of fun in the next week's newspapers. A man was ad up for calling another man a son of a bitch. It so happened a neighbour was passing at the time and heard it. In the court, the witness took the stand and the judge asked him if he had heard the plaintiff call a son of a bitch. Your Honour, I never known to go by any other name. Case dismissed, ordered the judge. But it is a low, dirty expression, so don't let it occur again. What name must I enter in the book, Your Honour? Asked the clerk. Son of a bitch was the quick answer. FaceTime is all right, but 'tis the day after. Everybody do get a fat head, said Tom Slow. Next morning, last year, I waked up feeling some awful. But mind you, 'twas worth it. My wife tried to cheer me up, told me in 16 hours' time I would be home again. Of course, I was late work. Just my luck. Boss seed me. Aye, says he, late again. Give an account of yourself. Well, everybody to speak of my father as a late Tom Slow, so I must have inherited, I suppose. Now, if that was my wife, she would say something what can always be took 2 ways. When I was in the army, she would finish her letters to me with, May the Lord bless you and keep you from your loving wife. And she kept that up until the day I was demoralised. Thought I would help out this year by selling poppies. Didn't get much, though. Nearly everybody had theirs saved up from last year. I went to General Baker's place. Of course, everybody can tell he also married a general. Married a general? How do we make that out? Well, I had to go back door. She answered, and the first thing she said was, got a woodbine, have he? When I told her they was too dear to give way, much less smoke, she told me to hop it fast, or she would run me in for being without visible support. Richard Henry shouted, Mother, from upstairs, how don't you fold up your clothes when you go to bed? All men do that. I know one that didn't, replied Richard Henry. Oh, eh? And who was that? Adam, laughed the boy. Did you hear the news this morning, Tom? Asked Feather. No, too late. Another thing, I wasn't down in time. Some people are always wishing away their time. That's 'cause they get out too early. Besides, everybody ought to have a hobby. collecting thing is one of the best for the education. For years I've been saving up matchboxes. Got nearly 2,000. Well done, replied Feather. Wouldn't think there were so many different kinds made. I don't know about that. Different. Mine are all the same. See you again tomorrow night if all's well. Now I'm just going to do a little poem here now by David Prowse. Said Jan, I should be going to the Royal Cornwall Show. I had a slight embarrassment there many years ago. See, I met this widow woman, and for reasons vague to me, she rolled her eyes all sexy-like and asked me round for tea. She had a drop of royal blood back somewhere down the line, and a snooty way of talking, and her name was Blanche Devine. Her clothes was fine and fancy, from her high heels to her top. She had more fur and feathers than a taxidermist's shop. Well, we had this tea at her place, all volivants and trade. You couldn't drink out your saucer for the mess you might have made. She said, oh, you're very agricultural, as she showed me to the door. You shall take me to the show, she said. I've never been before. So the chauffeur come next morning in this oversized saloon. He'd have more space between the seats than mother's living room. And she had this hat with plumage like a rooster on the craw, and a thing around her shoulder held together with a claw. Well, off we went to Weybridge, and we walked around a while. I was on my best behaviour with a gentlemanly smile. I walked in all the puddles just to leave her in the dry, and every time she spoke I'd say, how splendid, in reply. So grand was my performance, and so impressed was she, I had visions of a knighted or a castle by the sea. Then we reached the poultry section, and I lost her in the queue. Well, with all her plumes and feathers, 'twas a foolish thing to do. I took an hour to find her, but I wish I never had. This was when the situation went from promising to bad. She was leaning across the table and on a great Rhode Island red, and one of either judges slapped a ticket on her head. How dare you, sir, she shouted, and what on earth was that? You've just won second prize, I said, for the feathers on your hat. If I hadn't started laughing, then I might have been all right, but she turned on me with words I thought were rather impolite. Then Willie John, the poultry judge, came over with a grin. When I saw the mischief in his eyes, there was no way I could win. Here looked at Blanche and back at me, then shook his head and cursed. If I knew that bird could talk, he said, he would have had a first. Thank you. See you Monday if all's well.